Magomed Ankalaev defeats Alex Pereira at UFC 313 to become the new light heavyweight champion. Wow. Listen, I'm going to be honest. That wasn't the most exciting fight I've ever watched in the UFC. Do you know what I mean? I thought there's going to be more bangs. I thought there's going to be more sparks, fireworks flying. But you know what? Credit to Ankalaev, you know. He came in there and he did a job on Pereira. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to give a lot of credit to Ankalaev, do you know what I mean, for just getting the fundamentals right. His stance, the southpaw stance, gave Pereira all type of problems. Do you know what I mean? The whole night, the whole fight, Pereira just couldn't figure out Ankalaev. Do you know what I mean? Like, normally, Pereira is so good with his jab. Do you know what I mean? That's how he sets up a lot of his shots, a lot of his combination, along with them low kicks that he throws. Do you know what I mean? But this time, because of the southpaw stance of Ankalaev, Pereira just couldn't get his jab going. Therefore, he was really restricted when it came to his offensive work. And listen, I know a lot of the fans had Pereira as the favorite in that fight, yeah. But listen, man, Ankalaev is a beast himself. There's something about these Dagestanis, yeah, these Russians, Dagestanis, they seem to be the kryptonite of Brazilian fighters. Do you know what I mean? The amount of fights I've watched in the UFC where these Brazilians, jiu-jitsu, whatever, they'll come in there and they'll just get mauled, beaten by these guys from Dagestan. Man. We need to study that. I don't think a lot of people actually look into that, but we need to study that. And Alex Pereira, man, listen, some people are saying it's a robbery. Nah, that wasn't a robbery. I can understand if you had it 3-2 to Pereira, like, you know, some of the rounds, like, the third round was a swing round. But for me personally, I gave that round to Ankalaev. You know what I mean? I felt like he did enough in the third round to take that. Now, the first round, Alex Pereira went with the low kicks. He was really hurting Ankalaev. Do you know what I mean? It looked like even Ankalaev started limping. Do you know what I mean? That's how bad the low kicks were getting to him. But they just, something was off about Alex Pereira in this fight. I don't know what it was, but he just couldn't get no offensive going. Do you know what I mean? Normally, Alex Pereira, by the third round, he's got his opponent backing up onto the cage, and that's when he starts letting his shots go. Kicks to the body, elbows. He's a savage. When Pereira's got you trapped, when he's got your back to the fence, that's when Pereira gets to work. But this time, do you know what I mean? Like I said, man, to the credit of Magomev, Ankalaev, yeah, he was the one pushing Pereira back. He was pushing Pereira back, hitting him with a straight leg kicks to the midsection as well. Do you know what I mean? He was throwing his own leg kicks as well. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of put Pereira off. Do you know what I mean? Pereira just couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, no excuses, man. No excuses at all for Pereira. He just met his match, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, I see a lot of people say, oh, no, you know, Pereira was scared of the threat from the takedowns. Yeah, Ankalaev, he's a wrestler. He's a good grappler. The threat was there, but even when Ankalaev went for the takedowns, Pereira did really well. Do you know what I mean? I think Ankalaev shot like 11 times and Pereira like just stuffed all of them. But the problem came when it was on the clinch. When Pereira had his back to the fence, he was trying to defend the takedowns. That's when it took a lot of energy from him. Do you know what I mean? Listen, you can defend the takedowns and all that. That's all good. But you're still wasting a lot of energy to stuff the takedowns. Do you know what I mean? And even when you're stuffing the takedowns on the cage, Ankalaev was letting go them little shots in between the little knees to the thighs and all that. It might not look like much, but trust me, it does drain you. It takes a lot of energy out of you. Do you know what I mean? That's why Pereira, like, in the fourth round, he clearly lost that fourth round because he was just gassed. He was tired. He couldn't do nothing in that fourth round. Do you know what I mean? He lost that fourth round. Let's not also forget, I believe in the second round, Ankalaev nearly dropped Alex Pereira. Do you know what I mean? He nearly dropped him, hit him with the right and the left, sent Pereira stumbling back onto the cage. And you know what? Some people are saying Pereira saved by the belt. Because if there was another 40 seconds in that fight, he could have been in big trouble because it did look like he was stunned. Do you know what I mean? He did look like he was stunned in that round. And when he came back, it just wasn't the same. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I know this defeat that Alex Pereira suffered by Ankalaev is really pissed Dana White off. Do you know what I mean? Let's be real. Dana White is pissed off right now. Because Alex Pereira, right now, let's be real, in terms of UFC fighters, on the whole roster, Alex Pereira is the guy right now. Conor McGregor's not around. He's not active. He's out there sniffing whatever he's sniffing, drinking whatever he's drinking. You can forget about Conor McGregor. Right now, Alex Pereira is the face of the UFC. And Dana White had big plans for him. Dana White was even talking about Jon Jones fighting Pereira. And Jon Jones himself was entertaining that. If Pereira won this fight, if he defended the belt against Ankalaev, I'm telling you right now, yeah, Dana White would have sidelined Tom Aspinall and fast-track Pereira to fight against Jon Jones because Dana White believes that's the big money fight. That's the fight to make. That's what Jon Jones wants. Jon Jones wants no smoke with Tom Aspinall. He wants the big money fight against Alex Pereira because he believes, yeah, with his superior wrestling and just overall his whole skill set, he believes that he has a better chance of beating Alex Pereira than Tom Aspinall. Do you know what I mean? So Jon Jones right now is kind of looking like he's ducking Aspinall himself. Do you know? And Dana White, we know Dana White. He's all about the economics. He's looking at the fight between Alex Pereira, Jon Jones, the kind of pay-per-view buys that's going to generate. He's like, listen, it's a no-brainer. Let's make that fight happen. But with Pereira losing, it kind of diminishes the urge for that fight. The demand ain't really there because he's been beaten. Do you know what I mean? So now that forces Dana White to set up that Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall fight. Do you know what I mean? And that's exactly what Tom Aspinall deserves, man. Jon Jones is ducking. Dana White doesn't want to make the fight, but they're going to have to fight now. Do you know what I mean? And listen, I'm kind of happy, man. I'm happy that Ankalaev won that fight. Not just because, I don't like Alex Pereira. I like Alex Pereira. He's a fantastic fighter, a great combat sportsman. But I want to see the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a great fight because I feel like Tom Aspinall has a great chance to beat Jon Jones. And that's the fight that I want to see. And also, on the other side as well, like, let's talk about commerciality. Like, commercially, Magomed Ankalaev is not a commercial guy. He's very quiet. He don't talk. In terms of promoting him, like, he's not going to do a lot of promotions to promote the brand, which is UFC. He doesn't really, like, fit into that ethics of the UFC. Do you know what I mean? What the UFC brand is all about, using the image of the fighter's personality, etc., so that they can capitalize off your image. Do you know what I mean? Ankalaev is more of a quiet guy. You can even tell, like, the crowd wasn't really feeling him. They were booing him. You know what I mean? Even like during the round, when he was trying to take Alex Pereira down, he was getting booed and stuff. So Pereira is the popular fighter. He's the guy. He's the face of the UFC right now. So him losing is a bad look for the brand. Do you know what I mean? For the fighters, in terms of merit, Ankalaev, listen, fantastic result for him. He's the new champion, and him and his team and his family can be proud. But from a PR point of the UFC, is kind of a disaster. Do you know what I mean? So what I think is going to happen next, Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones is going to happen in the summer. And Alex Pereira, credit to him, after the fight, you know, he took his loss like a man, and he said, listen, I'm active, man. I'm gonna take a few days off. I'm going straight back into the gym. I'm gonna start training again. So I believe that it's probably gonna be a rematch, because Alex Pereira defended the title 3 times, and in those 3 times he looked devastated, man. He absolutely dominated and obliterated the opponents. So it's only right that the champ who was dominant gets a rematch. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what's going to happen now. Alex Pereira has a lot of work to do to overcome, Magomed Ankalaev, man, because that style, the southpaw stance, He has to try and find a way to get his offensive going. Do you know what I mean? And in there, I'm not going to lie, he looked like Ankalaev was a stronger guy, man. He looked like he even had the power as well. You know what I mean? It looked like Ankalaev had the power on John Jones. I'm not going to lie, because he nearly dropped, not John Jones, sorry. Ankalaev nearly dropped Alex Pereira. Do you know what I mean? And every time he hit Alex Pereira with the right straight to the body or the left, Alex Pereira looked uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? It looked uncomfortable. And I don't really remember any big shots from Alex Pereira that hurt Ankalaev. Do you know what I mean? Maybe the high kick to the head in the 5th round, maybe that kind of like stunned Ankalaev momentarily. But apart from that, Alex Pereira just wasn't his night. He just wasn't it. He was off, man. Do you know what I mean? And I gave 3 rounds to Ankalaev, but I've seen the reaction from other people. They say, you know, 3 rounds to Alex Pereira, because the 3rd round was a swing round, but I gave it to Magomev Ankalaev. Do you know what I mean? But listen, this fight was not a robbery. I feel like it could have went either way. And this time around, you know, Alex Pereira didn't get a decision. Congratulations to Magomev Ankalaev, you know what I mean? And I'm sure now beating Alex Pereira will give him the confidence. Even in the rematch, I think he's going to go for Alex Pereira. Do you know what I mean? He's going to try and get him out there, try and knock him out, or try and submit him, which is good for us, the fans, because it's just going to be a more exciting fight, because obviously Alex Pereira himself has to come out and perform better. He has to get his offensive going. Otherwise, it's going to be the same result. I don't think there's a Usyk fight now, innit? Alex Pereira is lost. Like kind of like Ring Magazine, Turkey Ala Sheikh, they were kind of teasing us because Alexander Usyk himself said he wants to fight Alex Pereira, but now that Alex Pereira is lost, again, man, the demand just won't be there, man. So Magomev Ankalaev, he's pissed off a lot of people by winning that title, man. He's really pissed off a lot of people, bruv. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. But listen, I want to leave it at that, man. I want to leave it at that. I think I said enough. But like I said, man, let me know in the comments what you think of UFC 313. If you want to talk about other fighters on that card, drop it in the comments. I'll really appreciate it. Please make sure you go ahead and smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, because that's the only way you're going to help us to grow. Thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. I'm your boy Enzo. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed. Peace.